Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Should we sing Dream, 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 Dream?
Where they go,
Welcome to the
they're
Dream.
gone.
Yeah, welcome to the Dream Detectives. And tonight I'm here with Terry Renner. Thank you for being here, Terry. Thanks
Thanks
so
for
much.
having me. I
Of
really
course.
appreciate it. It's so much
Yeah,
fun.
I know it is fun. And tonight she's going to share with us some dreams that she had this week. But I just want to take this moment to, I don't know where Diana is. She may or may not show up. She may be stuck in some kind of traffic. I don't know. Or she may be outside not really realizing what time it is. So anyway, doesn't matter. If she comes, I'll bring her in. I'll definitely bring her in. But I don't see anybody here just yet. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about how people have used dreams creatively in a couple of story examples that I have. And if you can think of any yourself, please, let me know, Terry. But one of the first ones that I loved was, of course, Stephen King. He is, hi, oh, you don't have the link? Oh, all right, Diana. Well, just a minute. I'll send it right off to you. All right.
Hi, Janet.
Hang on. I thought I sent it, but maybe I didn't. All right. So anyway, hi, Jana. Thank you for being here. Yeah. So I remember reading a book about Stephen King and where he got his ideas from. And one of the most interesting things about him in this book, he talks about how his nightmares have been used as fodder for his dreams. And he said, particularly really strange, and he writes a lot of strange books, but
Yeah.
the clown from It and some of the other ones that he has utilized in his books. He just always was awake in the morning and would start writing down, and it could be something that he mixed together, like maybe there was a thing where something was like spaghetti like or something, and he mixed that with this creepy person, and there's a whole bunch of different stories that he tells. And you can't read Stephen King. Well, Jenna, I can't either, except I have read two of this was a book he wrote about writing called On Writing. But I like, there's a couple of books that he's written, like 11/22/63, that's not a creepy book. It's about John F. Kennedy's assassination and different things around that, and time travel. And I like that one very much. Oh no, Rosie got you in the eye. I'm sorry,
Oh, honey.
Kelly.
I'm sorry, Kelly.
Yeah. Hi,
Ouch.
Amy. Hi, Mary. Samantha. MJ420. Hi, Tarot Stash. It's always good to see you too. And Fleck. Hi. Um, and welcome, Diana.
Thank you. I sent you a text message earlier too because I couldn't.
Oh.
But
okay.
yeah, we're all
We're all good now.
getting our bathrobes on.
Mhm.
There you go. There you go. I know it.
Fun.
I know it is fun. So yeah, I remember reading that. Hi, Barbara.
I know it.
And thinking, wow, I can't even imagine. And that they are nightmares. Some of those dreams, or that he's had, obviously, and the fact that he can utilize them in the stories. Hey, can't have much better than that. If you've got a dream that you can remember and put into the story. I wonder if he had it analyzed, though, what it would say about him.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's for sure. Hello, Pamela. Welcome. Amy, you like reading Stephen King novels? Yeah. Oh, we were talking to the Stephen King wrote a book back in around 2000, I think. It's called On Writing. And he talks about how his practice of writing takes place. And he talks about having like a drink of water and having his things set up this way and that way. And then he talks about how he utilizes Kelly, take care. Some of the things that he does from the dreams that he's had, the nightmares that he's had. I tell you what, I'm glad I'm not a writer, that kind of a writer, because I don't, it's hard enough to sleep some nights. I don't think I could sleep with that kind of thing. Yeah. Nope. So yeah, I just decided that I would tell a little story about that. But then today, I heard a song that I absolutely adore, and it reminds me of my son. It's an older song from like 2002 or 2003. And I'm sure you've all heard it. It's Drops of Jupiter by Train.
Oh, yes, Train.
But I heard today that the guy that wrote the song awoke from a dream, and his mother had died. And he woke up and he sat down and in 15 minutes wrote that song. And it was about her. Because, he'll say, yes, she's back in the atmosphere with drops of Jupiter in her hair. And what is it that he says also? She checks out Mozart while she does Taibot and reminds me there's room to grow. And soy lattes and things like that he talks about. And my son hates the damn song. He says, but it reminds me of him because he was like in high school / college then, and he was a young man. So yeah, I love it too, Amy. I love the
I'm
song.
getting all teary-eyed. Yeah. Train and Cake, both of them. I really liked both of those bands.
Yes. They have some beautiful songs from that era of time, I guess. Mm-hmm. And so when you're a mother of a young boy, and then the song is about a young man who loses his mother, you can see why I had that association with it. But my son rolls his eyes, No, Mom, I don't like that song. I said, okay, that's okay.
Because he knows what it's about and he doesn't want to lose you.
Maybe, but he's very picky. He's very picky about his music. So that's probably why. But that's okay. Everybody has a different taste. But I associate a lot of my memories with songs of the time. If you hear a song, you remember what you were doing then. So that's
well. You know how they filter into your dreams because you wake up singing.
Yes, that's true.
Or hearing the tune.
Yeah. Very definitely. Yep. So it's the creativity that aspect of dreams that you can utilize. I mean, I'm sure there's people that have awakened from a dream and painted something or drawn something like you do. You draw things. Yeah. Or, in this case, making a song out of it or making a story out of it. Sure. So there's a lot more to dreams than just crazy images and crazy things that go on.
Yeah. Or like Carl Jung, build your whole life on it.
That's right. That's right. With the red book. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. St. Elmo's is a good one. Go ahead, Terry.
St. Elmo's fire.
Did Vincent Van Gogh, was Starry, Starry Night a dream?
Starry, Starry Night. Yes.
One of my favorite paintings.
And one of mine too. And it makes me sad for Vincent Van Gogh. It really does. Because, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Right.
Yeah.
Starry, Starry Night. I can't remember the words to that song, but it became a song too.
Yeah, it's Don McLean. Yep, it is. That one, and I saw I saw this entire biography of Don McLean's American Pie. It was like on Hulu. Did you see that?
Yes. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it was so good. Yeah, it was so good.
I love that song. American Pie. Oh
it is. God. Everybody knows the words. And do you know who knew the words was it not Kim Jong-un, but the other guy from South Korea. He sang it at the White House. He sang and he couldn't speak English, but he sang that song.
Yeah, funny.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it?
It's
way cool. No, not Xiaoping. The other Korean.
Yeah, it's the guy from South Korea. I can't think of his name, but that's good because he's not a problem. So we only remember the ones that are the problems. Yeah. Paint your palette blue and gray.
Yeah.
Portrait on a summer's day. Yeah. Wow.
With eyes were meant
There we
for
go.
me alone or something. I can't remember.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Well, before we, Terry's got a couple of dreams for us tonight. And Diana, did you go to Venice? Because Terry and I couldn't get there.
I floated over it and kept right on going.
You did.
I didn't
Okay.
stop in. I didn't. I saw, I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't remember anything else about the dream except floating over, seeing a gondola, and kept right on going.
Did you have your red boots on?
Jupiter.
I love that.
You were with the drops of Jupiter. Okay.
Starry night, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. How about the rest of you that remembered? Last week we talked about that we were going to try to do a dream meetup in Venice.
Yeah.
With a color red. Didn't matter where it was found, but much as I tried, I just never got there. But it might be because I was it's finals week. I haven't been doing very well, so could be. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
So Samantha, I got your question. Yes, Terry's room is very beautiful, Wildflower. I agree. And see that beautiful picture over there on the right side, the painted picture. Her husband gave her that to her for her wedding. Is that right? Your wedding portrait. Yeah. And it's her. It's her. So it's lovely. Yes, it is.
Thank you.
All right. So I've got one person with the dream, but I'm going to leave it and have you all post up here. And I'm going to let Terry take over for a few minutes and see what we can discern about her dreams.
All right. I have one that is cracking me up because my guides are so stinking funny. And I went to bed and I was like, something was really bothering me that I felt like, you know how we do that self-judgment thing. And I was like, okay, guides, you got to pick this up. You got to do something for me tonight. So they made me headphones. And the headphones are one of their heads. And there's a head on this side and there's a head on that side, and they're talking to me. And
I love that.
And that was truly in the dream, and it was just so funny. I was just cracking up laughing when they did that. Anyway, the other dream that I had, and this could have been Venice because it was in a ballroom.
Okay.
So there's a possibility. I'm looking for my house. I'm in a very large ballroom. We are assigned ball gowns. There's rooms with ball gowns. And I'm assigned a gown for meditation. When I get there the second day, someone else is using my gown and it's missing. I don't need it, though. I know I don't need it for meditating. And then they let more people in.
Oh, and that's it?
That's it. That's all she got.
Okay.
That's as exciting as it gets. No more head-splitting headphones.
I love the one about the headphones. That's your direct connection.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Oh.
Yes, and it's an analogy for the word headphone. Oh, they're talking to you in each ear.
Yeah,
that's your phone. You know, your auditory, and they said we're talking heads.
Oh, I love them too. They're the best, talking heads.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like when my daughter said, you know. I used to say so-and-so had to go on food stamps, and she goes, what kind were they? She thought that all food stamps tasted like certain foods, you know, like you could lick this one, it's ham, and this one's macaroni and cheese.
Oh, bless her.
But it's the literal interpretation, and that's exactly what you did.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Wow, but the ballroom with the different dresses, and somebody used your dress. It wasn't available to you to put on, but you didn't care because you were just meditating anyway.
Yeah, the second day, it was like, you know, it's a big deal about the ball gowns. And I got there and I'm like, I don't need a ball gown.
Yeah. Ball gown. You don't need any particular outfit to meditate. You're able to do it either way. But I wonder what the ball gown would be very formal. So you don't have to formally meditate. You can meditate on the fly or without formality, perhaps. I don't know.
like that.
No trappings needed. Yeah, Wiki. There you go,
Ooh,
Wiki.
Wiki.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, I get that your practice is unfolding and your growth is in progress. Good.
Oh,
Very good.
Ooh,
There
Yeah.
you go.
Thank you.
Right?
I love
Yeah.
that.
The gatherings in the ball gown, the ruffles around the waistline and stuff like that. Sure.
Yeah.
You go.
You don't need to have it. It reminds me actually of you don't need formal training to access higher worlds.
Wow.
It's all in what your intention is or what you didn't sweat it. Somebody else had it. Oh well, you weren't upset about it.
Uh-uh.
It's no big deal.
Yeah. I love that. I
And
love
your
that, you
willingness
guys.
to share.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Diana.
The willingness to share.
Oh, that's sweet. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Give me that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The willingness to share with others that which you're able to do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a dog on my lap and he insists on sticking close.
Oh,
I know. That's what Caramel does. It's all within. Yep. And being your authentic self. There you go.
Really?
Yep.
That's really
wow.
wicked.
You don't have to dress it up. You're just your authentic
Yeah.
self. This group is getting really good, aren't they? They're
Really
getting
good.
really
I
good.
love it.
Yeah, like your
Yeah.
morning
Thank you.
meditations, we come
Uh-huh.
as audience to you because it's so not frilly. We're good. We're ready to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aw.
There are so many people that can only work under certain parameters. Like I have to have it quiet. I have to have the window shut. I have to have, all these rules, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then there are other people that do it sort of on the fly. And that's what you do. You do it on the fly because you didn't have the gown to put on. Oh, well, that's fine. And more
Right.
people came in and maybe they were the same way you were. Who knows?
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll take that.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm trained in silent meditation and chakra and
Oh.
mantra meditation. That's
Okay.
I have a certificate. But
Wonderful. Wonderful.
but I
So-
rarely use it. So though
Oh.
I call on all that for sure.
But can you have the voice for Nidra Woodruff in yoga? That would be, everybody would be out there.
Yeah.
After the first 3 sentences, gone.
I
Gone.
throw a little bit of that in every once in a while, but I don't do a whole one because it's in the morning.
Get this day started, right? No. Yeah. That'd be,
Maybe what we should have you do before we leave is have you lead us out in a meditation, and so we can
That
all
would
go to
be
bed afterwards.
that would be fabulous.
Yes, it would be. So Hypnosis said you're demonstrating an example of how assisting the healing for others heals yourself. I love that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Hypnicity.
All right. So I've got some other dreams here.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and look at them. And Diana, of course, I know you always have one or two of your.
I do.
Okay. Okay.
This is from last night.
Let's see what we got here. We got Samantha first. In my dream, I was in an overgrown field. I seemed lost. Bees were starting to cover my whole body, but no buzzing sound. I turned and there was a door. I walked through it and only a couple of bees stayed on me. So you're in the field, overgrown field. Bees.
Did the bees help direct you? to where you needed to go. They were your guides. And, you know, people who harvest honey can have bees all over them and not get stung because it's working in community with the bees, and they're very communal.
Yeah. That's true. But she knew there were bees even though they weren't buzzing.
Sure.
So
It's their wings flapping that make the buzzing sound.
oh. So instead of they're all around her, covering her, so that's why they're probably relaxed and they're not moving their wings, right?
Like they're depositing the well, I don't exactly know how they do that, but depositing
know.
honey on you.
Yeah, I was thinking the honey.
Pour a little honey on me instead of
Well, you know, the other thing I thought of was that, you know, there's one queen bee and the rest are worker bees, correct? And so maybe that she was the queen bee and she had all the worker bees around her. So she was in charge.
Throne room.
The
Wow,
divine
that's really
feminine.
good, Allie.
Yeah, that's excellent. I love that.
Mhm.
The divine feminine, is that, yeah.
Yeah, divine
Yeah.
feminine. They were just on you, Samantha. I'm
Yeah.
kind of feeling like the field might represent the field of awareness or the field of infinite potential.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Yeah. And the bees and the honey kind of remind me of bliss or ananda.
Yeah.
Like you're in a state of bliss. And then when you walk through that door, that portal, coming home or coming back or going farther,
Yeah.
who knows where you're going?
That's
Infinite
right.
potential.
Yeah.
Right.
It could be also reminding her that she said she seemed lost, but it could be reminding her to just be.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah.
And the bees sending her that way, if we go back to her being the queen bee, it's also them saying, we'll take care of this. You
But don't worry about it. Yeah.
Don't you worry about this. We'll take care of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Because a lot of us do feel lost, like we're not making any progress. The field could represent a fertile area because it's a little bit overgrown. So it's very fertile. And yet we don't feel like we're making any progress. And so, but it's interesting. They follow her. And then when she gets to the portal, there's a few that stay with her, but the rest of them are gone. And it's almost as though they have to go work with other people now. We'll keep a few with you, you know, like little guides going your way.
Right. They would take care of the nursery.
That's right.
So what do you think about elementals too? Elemental energy.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love this rabbit hole, and we haven't even seen a rabbit.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, the possibility, the openness of possibilities. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's not a negative, you know, like a lot of people would be afraid of bees that they'll get stung. But I'm not guessing that, you know, the only thing that she really mentions that's anyway sort of negative is that she felt like she could be lost. But otherwise, she wasn't like, I was scared or I was worried or, you know, it's more like, I'm just going to go along with it. And
yeah, the queen doesn't leave till it's time for her to pass over, you know, till it's time for her to die. And then a younger queen takes over.
That's right. And yes, there's prosperity. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, they represent teamwork and prosperity.
Infinite potential.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You got all the potential, Samantha, and you didn't even know it, but you did. You knew it inside. Yeah.
Community support.
Absolutely. That is beautiful. Just beautiful. Yeah.
And I look at her little picture, the honeybee.
I know.
Honeybee,
the hummingbird. Yeah. I love it.
Elemental.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Planting seeds for pollinators. There's something
I love
else.
that.
They're being silenced. Oh, okay. They I don't know if they're being silenced or because they're resting, they don't have to flap their wings.
Right.
So they're taking you're used as the staging area.
And they do
Yeah.
tend to her. So when they're in the hive, they do tend to her. You know.
Uh-huh. Yep.
In fact, remember my Kate Smith book? There's a whole story in there about that, the queen bee.
The
Oh,
queen bee.
wow.
That's true. Maybe not a dream, Mary. Maybe just an awareness, a deeper awareness, or a knowing, a psychically knowing. She said she had a moment that I could be thought I might be stung, but I wasn't worried. Yeah, good. Because in your mind, you're probably thinking, because I remember actually, though, I kicked a hornet's nest and when I was a little girl, and they all came to me. But honeybees don't tend to, do they? I don't see them as bad as they used to be.
They have to kill themselves in order to sting you.
They
load their stomach, so they don't want to. They don't want to injure you.
Sacrifice themselves.
It's only that they're trying to protect, or you step on them, and it can't be. You make it come out by stepping.
That's true.
So it you can just go like this, and they'll go away. I usually yell at them. If they come into the garage, even hornets, I yell at them, and that vibration sends them out. They get out of here. This is not, you can't, don't you dare build a nest in here. I'll get out the raid, which I don't do because they
I don't
build a nest.
I lifted up my hot tub cover the other day because if I'm the only one in there, I only open it halfway and then I put it down. Well, I decided to lift it up and there's a beehive.
Oh my God.
It wasn't very big. It was just, the cone, like a little bit of the cone. And unfortunately knocked it off because I didn't want it on there. But, I felt really badly about it, though. I did because, you don't see them like you used to see them.
Yeah.
Right. So, even hornets have a purpose, they eat ticks.
Right.
They eat ticks.
Yeah. That's very true. Well, I hope that provided some kind of explanation, or if you've got something else, Samantha, that you think it could be. Wow. Hi, Jay. Hi, Claudia. Thanks everybody for weighing in. I love it. All right. So here's an interesting precog, I think. When Amy was in her 20s, she dreamt a song by Paul McCartney that wasn't written yet. Many years later, in 1997, it was on an album of his, and the song and album were called Flaming Pie.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Did you know then, Amy, that you had precognition? One of the things that I remember reading in the Jungian idea is that when something that's time has come, it's sort of floating in the collective consciousness, and it's available to more than one person. And that is the case like with the Hale/Bopp comet. It was found exactly at the same time because they were both looking for it, and they named it that. So I'm wondering if you like Paul McCartney and you listen to a lot of his music, you could almost you couldn't make the song up, I know, but I don't know, you might have tapped into some of that creativity that was moving up in his mind because you don't know when it was written. Right.
And you have a thought and you put it out into the universe and somebody else grabs it. Like I thought I coined the phrase punch buggy because I had a Volkswagen and I had never heard it called punch buggy. I used to call it a punch buggy because the clutch was always out on it, and I was just punching it in the air. Yeah. And turned out the whole world was calling them punch buggies.
Wow. So
Mm,
you knew it on some collective level, but you
Right.
didn't know it. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. I had never heard it.
Uh-huh.
I feel like
Wow.
people that are creative artists or scientists or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
people that are into mathematicians, and yogis, they all get into that creative mind. I mean,
They
Yeah.
do.
gardeners, everybody, or dancers, or whatever you're into, where
Yeah.
your gift is, you
Mhm.
can tap into that. And some people don't grab it, but you did, and
Yeah.
so did he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's momentum. And Paul was probably singing on that song for years before he found the right moment.
Maybe. Yeah.
You know,
And you tapped in on that, Amy. So that tells me you've got, which I already knew anyway, you have the gift, but, there you go. Just another affirmation that, you've got what it takes. Yeah. The collective consciousness. Yeah.
Definitely,
Uh-huh.
Ross Houston.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wowee. Flaming pie. That's interesting. All right.
Oh, Hypnicity says a lot of that album was written in Linda's final year. That's a
Oh.
special time.
Okay, it was. Yeah. Yeah. So it was written before 1997 when it came out. But that doesn't mean Amy wouldn't have heard it, but Amy was able to tap into it perhaps.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I've had that happen where I was about 9 years old and we were driving across the country and I was laying down in the back seat of my parents' car, reading my book. I was, because what else is a kid going to do when they're 9? And we were slowing down and I sat up in the car and we were somewhere in the South. And I said, well, what are we doing here? I've been here before. And my mother said, no, you haven't. And I said, no, I have. And I said, there's this around the corner and there's this here and there's, and she did believe me because my mother was very good about that. She did, she knew that there were things that were above what could be explained, but I had never been there in this lifetime, but it was, or I'll say I dreamed about that or something. Cause
Right?
And
Yeah.
were those things there when you turned the corner? Was what you had said was there? See?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah.
I pulled out an old dream book
Good.
today, and I went to this chapter on the future, and I love that quote. It was remembering the future, and I thought, ooh,
Like-
yeah,
Yes, absolutely. There's actually a book that's really good that I read that's called Future Memory. And it's by, what's her name? M.K. something Atwater.
oh yeah,
Yeah. And it was fascinating. It was, and to me, it was deja vu, but it was, instead of what you remembered that happened in the past, it was what you knew was going to happen in the future. So it's a good book if you ever looking for something to read.
And absolutely, it could be, the past. We're catching up to our future.
yeah.
What we were, we're now catching up to, and we're remembering it, right? Because time is not linear.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So she passed in 98, and Amy says when she heard it, she almost fell out of her chair. Yeah, wow. I believe you did. Yeah, I mean that's amazing. Yeah,
that's so cool.
Oh, Trevor Isley says your present is your present.
Mm-hmm.
Present. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. It's like history is his story.
Yeah,
yeah.
Disease is dis-ease.
Disease, right?
Yeah.
Or disabled is otherly abled. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why they put those words together. All right. So Mary said she forgot they were going to Venice, but I will say I had this dream this past week with many people talking and seeing their faces, and I just kept saying to myself, "Who are these people?" Having a party in your head, Mary.
Yeah.
Did they have ball gowns on, Mary?
Yeah, you might have taken Terry's ball gown away from her.
Yeah.
Well, and when you mentioned the ball gown, I do crossovers a lot with a couple of my nieces / cousins, right? And we always check in with each other. And she was talking about having been at a dance and everybody was wearing a ball gown. Of course, I'm not going to go looking for the text message that all this was in,
Right,
but
right, right.
that could have been in alignment with
Could have been.
your,
Mhm.
meditation in ball gowns, which could have been in Venice.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And people will say, I was just talking about that today. And then you hear it later or you dream it, I guess. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, Mary, did you figure out who they were? um,
Welcome to my nightmare. Every single night, that's how it starts out, Say my blessings, close my eyes, and there you go. Right. All the faces come rushing in. And
they could have been the ones in Miami yesterday. There was a lot of different faces down there. I'll tell you.
There were.
Yeah,
sure were.
All right. Well, Mary's got another one coming up. So let's go to the next person here. We've got Rossi, who's got a dream. Oh, wait a minute. Did you have an earlier dream that I didn't get, Rossi? I can't find it now. All right. Well, you remember a dream. It was a visit from Mother Mary. I was about 2 to 3 years old, so I don't remember if she said anything. Otherwise, I don't remember any dream. So, Rossi, did you know who Mother Mary was at that age, do you think? Were you like really, at a Catholic catechism or go to school and learn about Mother Mary and isn't that what you say? Mother Mary, Hail Mary, full of grace?
Hail Mary, full of grace.
Yeah.
Which is
women.
Which is like a mantra too. And
correct.
Rosary is 108 times. So it's
oh, really?
Like a mala, and in Judaism, there's something that's 108. Everybody has 108. Yeah. It's a sacred number. The other dream was Mother Mary, divine feminine. I mean,
once again.
Yeah.
She was just a little girl, though, 2 to 3 years old. And that she can remember that must have been a visitation. Wouldn't you say that was a visitation?
I would think so. And certainly nurturing and being cared for.
Yeah.
And at 2 to 3 years old, you're, just in that early toddler stage. So you have strange sleeping patterns.
Yeah.
Anyway. And perhaps something was about to go wrong and Mother Mary came in and fixed it. And that's why you saw her.
Well, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
You know how well she took care of Jesus, and depending on your religious time, and 2 to 3 that's really awesome. I mean, my husband has memory from being a baby at 6 months.
Oh,
looking up and seeing one of those things in his crib, and his parents looking at him in the crib. I can't remember that. The earliest I can remember is about, I don't know, I think I was 4 or 5 maybe, but not much. Yeah. So, wow.
Yeah. That's really cool. Go ahead.
No.
Oh, go ahead. I would think that it's the Divine Mother, because she often shows herself as Mary to me too. And Durga and other archetypes. But, you might have been missing your real home when you came on this side of the veil, and she was probably taking care of you. Fresh from the other side, easier to see Mary. Definitely Wiki. Yeah. Oh, and protection too. Yeah.
But it seems as though Rossi knew that was Mother Mary. And I wonder if she knew it was Mother Mary when she was a baby, or just because she saw something that reminded her of it later. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you here, Rossi? Can you tell us if you do you remember?
It says her family is Catholic, but I don't know, it's 2 or 3.
Okay. Oh, hi, Hilda Flores. Okay, family raised Catholic. Okay. Yep, the rosary. Yep.
So she would have been hearing about Mother Mary already, and probably being taught to say the Hail Mary. I know,
Maybe.
I
Yeah.
certainly was,
Uh-huh.
even though I was
Mhm.
the oldest.
Yeah.
So, but to bring,
Oh, well, this is interesting. Her mom was in the U.S. and she was living with family in the Caribbean. Wow. That to me
oh,
is you missing your own mother and seeing the divine mother,
take
maybe.
care of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were blessed. You
Yeah.
Oh
were
my
definitely
God.
blessed.
Yes.
That's
Come
And
to
some of
beautiful.
you have
come to babies.
memories of going back to the crib. That's amazing to me. Wow.
I remember my grandmother yelling at my sister. I always thought it was. And then finally, years later, they said, no, that was you, Terry. Because I was crying in the crib. And she was like, just be quiet. With her German accent. Just be
Oh
quiet.
yeah. Oh, I can. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I
Rossi, that's
still
so
do.
interesting. That really tells to me, it gives me goosebumps because if your mom was already here and you were by yourself with the other part of the family, that had to have been somewhat traumatizing because when my dad went into the TB hospital, I was two and a half, something like that. And in my astrological chart, one time this woman looked at it and said, what happened to you when you were about 2 to 2.5? Your father left the family. I said, yes, he went in the hospital. But, you don't realize that if you're not aware of those things. So,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Arlene, you remember 3. Okay, cool. Wow. You ladies remember being young?
Oh, I can remember definitely that 4-year-old stage,
Uh-huh.
and a
Okay.
little bit before that, but mostly around the holidays because they were always important. And the
Yes.
church that we would go to for the holidays was a replica of St. Peter's Cathedral.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Wow.
was big and resonant, and this is St.
Mm-hmm.
Casimir's in downtown Detroit. And
Uh-huh.
when they knocked it down, I cried because,
Oh. Yeah.
but they broke a couple of wrecking balls just trying to break apart the dome.
Wow. It was that well made.
It was that well
Yeah.
made,
Yeah.
but
That's
it had been
amazing.
originally built like in 1896 or something like that,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
Wow.
at a
Yeah.
time when there were lots of churches around. So
Yeah.
it had been condemned by the time it came down because, it was radiator heat and
Sure.
the boiler and all of that other business. So, and then they
Yeah.
put a A-frame in its place, and it was like, what is this? Where are the
And
stained glass windows? Okay, there's the Stations of the Cross, but they're
Yeah.
not even the old ones. Why didn't you bring the old ones? And everything, the
Well,
statues.
you guys, you have to know that when I was a kid, I wasn't Catholic, but I was mad because we had to eat tuna fish on Fridays. I was so mad about that. But I never understood why why Jesus was always in a bathtub on someone's lawn.
And
It's like,
Mary too. And
and
Mary too.
Mary too. What the hell are they doing?
Something to do with that old 4-footed bathtub when everybody started getting showers.
That's right. I was like, what the hell is going on? So even if you weren't Catholic, you had to on the days of Friday, you had to eat only fish. Or you
Yeah.
could have cheese pizza, but you could only eat fish otherwise. But we weren't even Catholic, and we had to eat that too.
yeah.
So, yeah.
One of my
Yeah.
one of my friends that's Jewish, his daughter had seen Jesus on the crucifix, and
Uh-huh.
he's on toes. You look at his
Right.
feet,
Yeah.
and she said, "Daddy, who's that ballet dancer guy?"
Well, not too far off, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
could really do that pirouette, and what do they
Uh-huh.
call the jump split when you
Yeah.
float through the air like Swan
Oh
Lake?
yeah,
Yeah. All right. So Mary has a shrub that has such a beautiful smell. I go under it and meditate at this time of the year because it's filled with bees and the sound and smell is amazing to sit in silence. That's beautiful share, Mary.
Yeah.
Thanks
I
so
love
much.
that,
I love
Mary.
that. Yeah, that's
And there
awesome.
we go. There's another example of bees doing no harm.
Correct. Yep. That's right. That's right. So Nancy Vasquez has a dream. In my dream, I saw my sister in a casket, and my daughters were crying, but I wasn't because I already knew she would die. In reality, she has a serious disease. Okay, all right. I've always had dreams of what will happen, and you already know, Nancy, that that life goes on, so to speak. I think that's why you weren't crying. But let me ask you this question. If you've ever had a dream of yourself or someone else in a casket, are they dead or not? Because every time I have a dream like that, they're never dead. In other words, they're not really dead. They're supposed to be dead, but they're not dead. That's what I see. I don't know if you've had any dreams like this before.
Well, and old school from my grandmother, German Polish.
Yeah.
If you dream of somebody dying or in a casket, there's going to be a wedding.
Oh.
Nice. I love that.
Okay.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you've had dreams, precognitive dreams, it's a way of preparing yourself for it too, Nancy.
Yeah.
And also knowing that not everybody is going to accept or understand it the way you do. Would you say that's true, ladies?
Yeah. Also awareness of it, that you can see the casket in the like a vehicle, you know, for the next portal or
Elevation.
the next stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear your sister has this serious disease, and send you lots of love, because it's going to be something you'll have to deal with, it looks like. So.
And have you had this dream about her more than once?
That would be interesting to know.
It's interesting.
Yep. Let us know, Nancy. Amy said, I had a dream where I was in my grandparents' living room. My grandpa was watching TV, and I said, Grandpa, you're dead. He started talking to me, and then I woke up. He was visiting you, honey. Wow.
Yeah.
We usually don't remember that they're dead until we wake up. So it's interesting that you were cognizant of the fact, why is he here? He's not alive anymore. At least in my experience, when my dad comes to visit, we're having a great time, and then I wake up and I go, oh, he isn't here anymore. But when I'm in the dream, he is. So
yeah, I would just say it was a visitation as well.
I would too. Yeah. My husband comes in a lot, and my late husband, and he I'm always like, you're not supposed to be here anymore. What are you doing?
And he says, please don't say that to me.
And Nancy, one more question. So you've only had the dream once, but was it most recently, or was it quite some time ago when it was discovered that she had this serious disease?
Oh, yeah. In other words, did you know it also before the dream?
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, okay, Amy. That's cool. It's happened to you a lot. Whenever I see people pass away, I know they're gone. Okay.
Yeah. You might be jumping timelines too.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, really? Same with your dad, Jay? Isn't it fun? It's like I got to spend last night with my dad, you know? It's like yeah. Oh, he hadn't even been gone for 2 weeks, Amy says. Okay. All right. Maybe you were just adjusting yourself to it. Yeah.
And if he'd only been gone for 2 weeks, he hadn't left yet.
Left yet.
Business
he was still hanging out.
Visiting her was still part of his.
And guess what you did? You told him he was dead. And he went, oh, shit, I got to go. Oh, my.
My dad and my stepmom would do that. They'd come and tell me the doorbell was going to ring, or, you know, call my name before the phone rang. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
taking care of business.
So Hilda says, I remember when I was 3, my uncle was accidentally killed. I'm sorry, dear. Back in those days, we had the caskets in the homes. Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I told Mama the colors and everything, and she was stunned. I remembered every detail. Oh, that was traumatic for you.
Oh,
Wouldn't you
honey.
say?
Yeah.
Yeah. My mother, her mother died of, we thought in childbirth in the house, screaming, screaming, screaming. My mother was like one of 13 children. And we found out much later that she was pregnant and she did die with the baby, along with the baby, but she had a gallbladder problem or something. And so the screaming was from the pain of the gallbladder. But then the next day when my mother came down the stairs at 5 years old, there's her mother laying out on the, on the whatever, dead. And that had to have, I think that affected her whole life. So Hilda, you got to know that must have affected you too.
Mhm.
Yeah. And particularly that, no one told you about it, that you had to find out about it like that. That's very traumatic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. In other words, we won't explain it to her because she's too little to understand it, but you weren't. You should have been told.
And that is not true, because children have a concept of alive and dead. It's just like
Yeah.
you watch cartoons and you're not supposed to hit anybody over the head with a frying pan like Goofy does, or Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd. I mean, you just know that's only slapstick.
Yeah. And you wonder if all these details was when, it could have been Hilda, that you imagined the details because you had a precognition. And at that age, you would have been closer to the other side. So you may have had something going on at that time. Wow. Okay.
Wow. Lots
Jay,
of
I
talent.
love this. Dead is a state of consciousness. I don't think I'll feel dead when I get back over to the other side. It's very, and I know that to be true because my mother died and my father was moving, and I said, we got to cull out what doesn't need to be brought in the move. So I took all her clothes and put them in a bag, took them to Goodwill, and that night had a dream. My mother said, what did you do with my clothes? I don't have that many clothes. I was going to come back. And I felt so guilty about it because I really don't think my mother knew she was dead. I really don't. Yeah.
Oh,
Right. There's a point where that reality just sets in to
Correct.
even the person that has passed, because how many times have you heard the stories of not only does the light come out, like when George Harrison died, his wife and those who were with him saw his eminence come out and saw his light ascend, but it went rather quickly because think of the state of mind that George Harrison lived most of his life.
True.
So other people who have karma to take care of will spend more time here finishing up what they have to finish up before they can cross.
That's very true.
Yeah.
An angel gets his wings when the bell rings.
That's right.
I love that.
So I told my mother that Grandma was dead in her bed when I was 3. She did die that night, but in a hospital because she remembered the ambulance taking her out. Wow.
Oh, Mary. Sorry.
Yeah. Another 3-year-old. Look at the 3 and 4-year-old mind here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're so close to the veil then. I mean, you don't have all the constructs, especially, with organized religion, and which organized, some of them are great. And if that is good for you, that's great.
And Grandma might come to visit her rather quickly too.
Yeah.
The little baby. Oh,
That's true. That's true. Maybe Grandma came and told you, Mary, yeah, I had to go. But, maybe you don't remember that part of it, but.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hilda says, Mom said it was weird. I knew the exact colors of the drapes and the skirt they used on his casket. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, really, Jay? Well, that's interesting. She saw her dad's soul leave the body when he died after they did CPR for 20 minutes.
Oh,
that's so sad, dear. I'm sorry that.
Sorry.
But it was if you saw him and you were with him, it really is an honor to be with someone when they pass. It really, really is. Most people wouldn't want to be, though. A lot of people don't want to be.
Yeah.
So,
It's a gift.
it is a gift. Definitely is a gift. Well, we've got a few more minutes here. I do want to let everybody know next week. I can't do this on Wednesday night, so we're going to skip a week. But we'll be back the week after. I'm just going to try to go spend some time up north with Keith, and it's easier for me to not do a night show at that point. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh,
Sure.
I bet you were, Jay. I bet you were happy. Yeah. And Wiki, you were with Mom. Yeah. 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 Pamela, we'll take yours. I recently had a dream that I forgot to feed the cats, and I was very remorseful. I have no pets. The next day, my daughter-in-law asked me to feed the cats when they go on vacation. Oh my God!
Well, you were prepared, and I bet you didn't forget.
Well, they must have been talking about it. Oh well, let's see if mom can feed the cats while we're gone. I bet she wouldn't mind doing that. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
perfect.
Yeah, that's cool.
You don't have cats. Okay. Wow. Oh,
Definitely precog.
precog.
Yeah.
Grandmother always let me jump on her bed, and she would throw her slippers at me, and I would go to the bathroom. She loved kids and had 13 children, and I was the last grandchild. 27. Wow, Mary.
Wow. Mary.
I never had, grandmas were dead before I was born, so I never had grandma, and I don't know the experience of other people. So it's wonderful to hear that from other folks,
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah. They're amazing. I had 2 great grandmas.
Pamela, you hope you don't forget to feed the cats.
They'll let you know, honey.
Every other day is good.
You'll have to put a little, what is it? A little string around your finger.
There you go.
And then, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Cats can be left alone for quite a period of time, though, as long as you leave them food and water and the bathroom area, right? I think they can be. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty self-sufficient.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, that's great. Diana, have you got a short one?
I've got a short one. I've actually got a short one and a oh my God, I had a dream and this is where it turned out, right?
Okay.
Okay, so I've been really busy and haven't been able to, make the circuit to see everybody's show. And last night I dreamt about Nancy Jean. I have dreams about you. I have dreams about her. And I have dreams about Mary and, Anne from Revealing Light. Right. And so I dreamt that she has this tree that a ley line runs under, right? And I dreamt that I was with her and she was taking me to see her tree. And along the way, I was putting rocks in this wagon. And when we got to the end of this path that was deep in the woods, we went into a cave. And she was talking to somebody that I thought was Scott Allen. Okay. Who she collabs with often. And so this was her, and this was who I thought was Scott. Well, today I had some time, so I caught up on a show with her and Jeffrey Ripecolor, and they were doing a past lives. And in reality, the hat that Jeffrey was wearing was the hat that I saw in the dream. So I thought it was Scott, but I never saw his face because I was busy sorting these minerals because he magically turned them into the polished crystals that we all love to carry around in our pockets, right? So I was just sorting out the minerals so that he could do this alchemy. And then in reality, that show had already happened, but I didn't know about it. And so I was catching up on a show that was like 2 or 3 days old. And there he is wearing the hat that was in the dream. And then just to go very quickly, I'm sure you watched that Dr. Greer
Mm-hmm.
special. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do you remember me talking last week about the oblong thing that people that they were just guiding along?
Mm-hmm.
When J.D. Lang came on and showed those pictures of that oblong thing with the handle on top, my mouth dropped open because that's what I saw. That's what I had been seeing. Now,
Is that the one that they were trafficking humans? Was it him?
yeah, he was.
Oh,
Yeah, he was so freaked out, right? And
yeah.
like he had been beaten up and all that
Yeah.
other business that had happened
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah.
But it was that right there.
Oh,
wow.
okay.
And
Like a
so
And it was floating right above the
yeah,
ground, right?
it
Yeah.
was floating. I had
Yeah.
taken stills from the show.
Uh-huh.
Where are they, right? No, not today. Yesterday. So that was, come on.
Oh, yeah. It was square.
No, I'm not to select.
No?
I just want to see. There you go. Oh,
Yeah.
I saw it.
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Looks almost like a casket in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks
Yeah.
almost like a casket. And then they did a drawing rendition of it.
Oh,
And
wow.
that was what I had seen. Now, my drawing, of course, is not as big as what I had seen.
Right.
But
right.
it was big like that. And they just held their hand on it to guide it. And it was a parade and a parade and a parade. So that's another moment where they probably had already filmed that.
Right. Yep. And you just
Did
hadn't
I
seen it
pick up
yet.
on that? Because I really believe that I had been transported to another planet. That I was on this other planet witnessing this happening.
So do you think that they're trafficking these people that were on this thing to other planets? Is that what you're sensing? Or
Yes, because
Yeah.
it's part
okay.
of that the torture and the evil things that happen,
Yeah.
are not the ETs. They're
Right.
not Lemurians.
Right.
They're they're not
They're
that.
us. They're us.
They're the ones that are back
Mhm.
manufactured, and what do you call it? Back engineered
Mhm.
by them, by us, by people, by humans, because of the power and this whole class action suit. It's a
Right.
very
Right.
good special if no
Well,
one
it brings to
haven't
mind
seen
the Men in Black, because they were
Yes.
wearing caps and all this other stuff. So
Yes.
it's Men in
Yeah.
Black. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. So if
The one that disturbed me the most was Deitman, the young kid that he couldn't, he's got all kinds of problems. And the
yes,
things that happened to him, that blew my mind. That
it's
blew my mind.
it's frightening to think about it being,
Yeah.
and Tesla and the whole thing and the whole lost century. I
Yeah.
too purchased that documentary. It's worth having and
It
keep
is.
and referring back to from time to time.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
Yep. If you get a chance to see it, it's only up for 60 days, but it's Stephen Greer's, it's about 3 hours, I think, but it's a press conference he had with people who have come forward with information.
Right.
And-
And they're taking a class action suit
Right. The
for
RICO. Yeah.
on RICO charges. Yes, on RICO charges for the energy crisis that we're in because it didn't have to happen.
Yeah.
They kept it secret for a reason, and the strange circumstances under which Tesla lost his life, et cetera, et cetera, et
Right.
cetera. Hush.
Somebody's not happy, Mama. Sterling says some ETs are allowed to experiment with us. That's probably true, and they have in the past, but it's mostly us now that are doing this in the dark shadow government. Right. If there is,
and even if they were, we don't know that there wasn't that black ops.
That's right.
Handshake.
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
Yes, Jay.
Interesting information, and and just something that is interesting to
It
to
is.
get your mind up to, because it's people don't believe in UFOs and they think that they're not real and so on. And last night I had that experience where I went to the store and the guy was explaining what happened in Las Vegas with the UFO.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw
And
you.
this woman's like, yeah, right, like that. And
Yeah,
I
like her-
should have thought to say this, but I didn't on my way home. I'm like, well, I didn't believe that Donald Trump would ever be president, so I can understand why you don't believe in UFOs. But I didn't say it because I didn't think it. But
Exactly.
anyway.
So Linda Moten Hall and her video on Earth Files last week. Of course, she has a new one this week that's going to be dealing with a lot of the things that they discussed over there. But that one is the closing panel for Contact in the Desert. It's a very good panel. It's worth watching, and so is Stephen Greer's press conference. It's on YouTube. And it's about 2.5 hours long, but you don't have to stay for the press questions if you don't want to.
What is Billy's last name,
also
though?
interesting, and you can draw your own conclusions from that.
What is Billy's last name? Billy that
Carson.
interviewed me. Carson.
Oh, Billy Carson.
Billy
yeah.
Carson.
I like him.
He's another. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah,
I have not watched that yet.
Yeah, you got it. If
Yeah.
you get a chance, you should take a look at it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Had a few people send it, but
You know what? You're absolutely right, Rossi. Black ops
Yeah.
billionaires want to make money in dirty energy, and they don't want free stuff. 'Cause
Right,
it's all
and it's
about the money.
and our real government doesn't even know about these underhanded dealings.
I know.
You know, and who is at the heart of all of this right now?
Right. Yep.
Let's see, he's got
Anyway.
a court date, right?
yeah,
Totally different show, but really, it's something to keep
Yeah.
yourself up on. It's important.
Yep.
But, all right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and thank you
Okay.
for your dreams and having us look at them. And thank you, ladies.
it's fun.
Thank
Bye,
you,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank
Thanks.
you, Sally.
Bye bye. Have a good night.
Sweet
Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams.